If I hadn't run into Heather on that day and had that experience, I would have just walked out the front door and not come back.
Having arts in a hospital or in a healthcare environment can make a difference, and it's a legitimate thing to do in the delivery of health services.
It was great to see a lady playing an instrument like that stopped me from thinking about things for a moment, and that was really fantastic.
When we are around vibration, we can't ask it to not into our space. So essentially all of the vibration around us in our environment, what we have said to us, what music we listen to, and even what thoughts go on in our own mind, they all have a resonance and they have a vibrational effect on us. There's a lot of benefits to relaxation, including obviously muscles relaxing, the endocrine system working better, people's blood pressure normalises, pain can lessen and sometimes even go away altogether. Emotions are soothed and a more positive outlook is perhaps achieved. We are made up of mainly water in our body, and because sound works, it travels through water very fast and very efficiently. The sound vibrations, when they meet our body directly, have a gentle way of just massaging through the bones, the fluid, the blood in our body, and essentially are sending like an internal massage to the cells, us on a cellular level.
Having music come into their unit has been a huge benefit. We'd like to do a lot more of it.
A lot of the staff enjoy the music as well and find it relaxing, and they talk about it, so I think it just helps break up the monotony of monitors and everything, so yeah.
A lot of their stay in the unit is based around their respiratory function and their breathing, and so babies have a variable breathing pattern, and so any music that calms them will help balance out that breathing so it's more equal.
I remember one time working with a couple who were waiting for their child to be born, and after spending 15 minutes with me listening to the bowls, we played the guitar, I sang to them. She said, I can feel my baby kicking, I can feel him in there moving around. I came back a few hours later to that particular ward, and the father ran up to me in the corridor and said, "You wouldn't believe it, but she's given birth. So he was so happy, and of course they were so happy that the music somehow was able to cut through her anxiety and her stress, and then from there her body relaxed enough to be able to actually give birth.
Her little tongue is cute.
This is great coming in here, listening to music and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
It's good to know that, do things like that here.
Temperature is alright, so I'll get rid of the incubator. This is
It's such an important thing for children, babies. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
And it turns out that for all the differences in music in different cultures around the world, Indian music, African music, South American music, whatever, children's songs are much more similar, and they can help calm people down.
It's your name and you are here for us.
Nice to meet you, Grandma.
such a lovely mum and dad too.
Oh, you're a lucky girl to have them.
I've just had a liver transplant and it was a major surgery, very, very thought-provoking. When you're faced with the mortality of your existence on the planet and the potential that not coming out of surgery to go into that, knowing that you may not see anybody and your loved ones may not see you again, it's really quite an emotional thing. It was great to see a lady playing an instrument like that, based upon you don't get that experience in everyday life, that's for sure. But afterwards, because I'm still going through some pain relief and pain management in itself, it just set me off to sleep and stopped me from thinking about things for a moment and made me feel really relaxed, calm, and I feel fantastic. The transplant thus far has been a total success. I'm going home well within 2 weeks of surgery. Thank you very much to the Arts Council who've set up that air of healing within this place.
I thought possibly I'm not going to make it, and I sort of said, well, there's not much I can do about it now. So I just sort of rested for a second, and suddenly everything went white in my vision. My eyes were open, but I couldn't see anything in the room around me, nothing. Wow. Just white, pure white. Beautiful bright light with a beautiful energy about it. Wow. I looked up and in this white, it just suddenly appeared. The angel Gabriel just showed up just there.
Wow.
They actually do have feathers on their wings.
So sending these healing vibrations in, right into the bones, the nerve endings.
Yes, where the stress is held.
Yep.
You're okay. You're okay.
Thank you, friend.
It's got a little instrument, isn't it?
Yeah, but just nice feeling about it.
Yeah, it's sort of
sound.
relaxing.
Yeah. So that would give us something for us to do. 25 years to go. What was that one?
Any opportunity for the patients to actually be able to play the instruments is really beneficial for them too.
The leaves are falling.
Leaves are falling.
The blue sky's coming.
All right, okay, they're the lyrics. Go again, go again.
Okay. And again, the blue sky is there.
And again, the blue sky is there.
Right, you want to have a go now? You can do better than I can.
Beautiful.
No.
Oh, I love that. That's a new song.
I like the...
That's good, huh?
The best friend
He
of mine.
made it up. He made that song.
Australia now has a national arts and health framework. It says that, having arts in a hospital or in a healthcare environment can make a difference, and it's a legitimate thing to do in the delivery of health services. So that's been a quite significant thing that's happened in the last year to support arts and health practice in Australia. Often, you're in a hospital where there's a lot of medical terminology and treatments around you, and it can be very hard to actually express yourself emotionally. So I think the arts, it does that. It triggers it and provides an avenue for expression.
There was a gentleman who was in ICU who had lost functioning of all his limbs, and I brought a musician up there who was playing Indian flute. This amazing smile came across his face, and he just really had this beautiful, peaceful look on his face as he was experiencing this music. And in this dire situation that he was in, to bring a smile to his face was a tremendous thing to see, and it will stay with me for a long time.
A sound therapist's role really is to help people return to their sense of flow in their life. So it's trying to help them loosen things that might be inhibiting them emotionally, mentally or spiritually, which can also then be affecting their physical body.
My first shift back into the hospital was absolutely appalling, and I walked out of my shift thinking I can't do this, I can't nurse, I can't remember anything, I'm just useless and I'm so stressed. And I was walking down the corridor and I saw the Tibetan singing bowls that Heather has, and I said to her, oh, those are your Tibetan singing bowls. And she actually in the middle of the corridor just said yes, and you look really stressed, and she gave me a little healing on my back with one of them. And I remember just standing there going, maybe I can do this, maybe it's not quite as bad, maybe I just need to go home and calm down and I might come back tomorrow. And I did. And I think if I hadn't run into Heather on that day and had that experience, I would have just walked out the front door and not come back.
It's not about, some pre-formulated band-aid to something. It's more about really being able to evoke what the patient is needing at the time and responding accordingly.
And when we rest our mind on the sound, it can help bring our brainwave frequencies from being in the beta state, which is when we're awake and talking and doing work and doing things, and it's quite fast brainwaves. But it can come down into the alpha, theta, and even the delta brainwave state, which is a very relaxed state, and that creates positive neurons in the brain.
It's just like an orchestra on you.
It helps to boost the immune system through relaxation, and the endocrine system, as well as the nervous system. It helps to calm and settle the nervous system, which is great for our body.
I'll never forget that. That's an amazing feeling. Can you feel that?
All over the place now in hospitals and health delivery systems, people realise the importance of having this extra depth, this extra dimension to healthcare. But also it works. There's lots of data out there in controlled studies where people have looked very, very closely and carefully at arts and health programs and how they relate to the overall healing rates or patient attitudes, staff attitudes and so on. The bottom line is that, in the case of music specifically, it's a part of life for most people, and it's no reason at all why it shouldn't be part of the health system as well.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's one of the few hospitals I've ever seen that has a program like this, and I think it makes a big difference to the whole atmosphere of the hospital.
The arts in health whole idea and ideal really can tap into different levels of the patient's being, particularly emotionally, mentally and spiritually, which I believe has a great effect on the physical body.